Episode 7 of Exandria Unlimited. We're getting close to the finale. 2 weeks from now, I'm dropping the episode 8 breakdown. But we're breaking it. We got flashbacks, visions, we got puzzles, we got the big combat that starts to go towards the end here that leads towards whatever's in the finale. So, spoiler alert for episode 7. Again, you don't have to watch episode 7 before you watch this. I'll give you all the setup you need before we dive into it, but you've been warned. So before we start breaking things down, let's take it over to Comfy Coach. Hey, how's it going? Did you know I just overhauled my entire Patreon? I make monthly D&D magazines called DC Playbooks, and I just lowered the price down on them to make them more easy and affordable for everybody, thanks to all the support I got from my current patrons that have been patrons for a long time now already, and the support I got over on Kickstarter, which is also in the works now too. Lots of stuff going on here, but just want to make sure that you kind of, knew that Patreon. Check it out. Link in the description. All right, starting us off here with this breakdown is the very start of episode 7. They've just been going through travel. They've gone through all this type of stuff, and they're going towards the end at some point. We know there's only 8 episodes. They're arriving towards the end. It's the last little bit of travel. So I think this is a really great moment. What Aabria does here is she takes the group and she asks them this. I'll let her say it.
Is there anything we need to know about how you all spent your night?
I think if I remember correctly, did Opal have like a real kind of like out of body experience, a violent encounter with a head? Yes. Decapitated head?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is what she does. She starts off, she knows she's going towards the end, and there's a little bit of loose ends or character development or things she wants to progress that she hasn't gotten to yet, and you're reaching the end. For us, as in a normal campaign with not like a set end in mind or whatever, you can easily do this. What she's doing is she's asking each player. She goes through all 5 of them and gives them a little mini scenes to just themselves, having to do with whatever things have been going on. There's some stuff going on with this crown, this vestige of divergence, dark, evil crown of the Spider Queen that different characters have different connections to. Matt has a connection to it. Robbie has a connection to it. All these different people and like what they've been doing and the little things here and there specifically for them. She has a moment. She goes through this for a decent chunk of time here, and the whole first part of this thing is giving each of them a little moment to be able to accelerate and dive into whatever their character's been doing. So in a normal campaign, you have a pulse check of each player. Maybe you only do this for one player that has some stuff going on specifically. Maybe you do this for one for each, maybe a pair of them. In downtimes and long rests and all that kind of stuff at my table, I'm like, anybody, I pair them up, especially on Night's Watch, to give them chances to talk with each other, or give them a chance to say they want to talk to somebody else, or give them a vision or a dream or something like that with what Aabria is doing here. So I thought this was a really cool thing. And in one shot, sometimes you might not have enough time in a one shot to be able to do this for too long, but in these little rest windows, you can try and take these, and I love what Aabria did here to give some character development in a super simple situation. Okay, this next one here is just freaking cool. I have to show you guys this. Look at this.
I got a glimpse.
Oh,
wow.
Battle map reveal. Wait for it.
Nice.
Pretty. Wait for it.
Wait.
And there's a crazy cool cube, but that's not it.
Oh. Okay. Holy
It
Yay!
Serious.
It moves!
Let's go!
Come on!
Look at that. That's crazy, right? So this does end up being a battle map. Spoilers, right? It's such a huge display, such an awesome display, and it ends up being a battle map, right? This actual cube that's rotating has magnets in it, and she uses it as an actual moving piece. Super well done. Oh my God. Whatever team is putting this together with Aabria and all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, hats off. That's awesome. And the little magnets on the bottom of it. Wow. So this leads us to the puzzle situation in this whole thing. They have a puzzle that leads into a fight. I love that. Love puzzles that lead into fights. Love puzzles in general. But this puzzle that I'll set it up for you. Okay, here's the puzzle scene. They saw this super awesome set piece. And again, it's right here. I'm sorry, I'm blocking it for you guys. But they were able to interact with it and like jump on top of it, and the gravity started shifting to where they walk around. Like if this is the side of the cube, they walk around it, right? And then it's almost like a little planet size. It has its own gravity. So they're exploring it, messing around with it. They're making checks and stuff to try and get some phrases. Here's a little clip of Aabria taking that whenever with Amy finding something.
It's pushing in to try to understand what's being said, and you get it. A shield to protect.
A shield to protect! A shield to protect!
And the entire cube changes to blue and holds.
Oh, you're doing something.
Okay. Whoa, we'll get it together. A shield to protect.
The universe above.
And are the lights flashing each time one of them says this?
Just the first time it's solved.
So this is the clues they had found. Matt's character had found a phrase. They said the phrase. Nothing happened. They keep going. Amy finds a phrase. She makes a certain check, finds a phrase. And then when she finds this phrase, though, it's the cube changes. Something happens. So now, okay, one changed, but the other didn't. And now they can start to play around with stuff. What's happening? Asking questions. And then this is where you can give clues out as a dungeon master. Ask them for checks for clues. There's already checks involved with solving the puzzle already. So I might not, be careful what, especially with puzzles, what you gate behind checks and stuff. Or else then if they don't roll high enough, then they don't solve the puzzle if they can't figure it out, because puzzles can be a little tricky in D&D. Comment below if you want me to do a whole video thing on puzzles. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on with puzzles that I would love to do. But anyway, they can get a little tricky. What's interesting is now they start to play around with these different sides and stuff, and and Liam calls out, like, check another side. And they have to find out what ends up being, they have to read these lines in a certain order, and then the cube changes each time, and then eventually they'll get it. What's really cool about this specific puzzle, though, is the visual aid. A lot of times with puzzles, traps, riddles, battle, theater of the mind, even having some sort of visual aid, even if you do theater of the mind, I know that's a combat thing technically, but having tangible visual aids just to help them a little bit goes a long way towards being able to even try and solve the puzzle or whatever. If there's multiple sides, they know they solve these two sides, let's go to the next one. You could even get a literal cube in front and like point to and get it like a dry erase marker or something to kind of help them visualize what's going on here. You don't have to have a 3D floating cube, but visual aids are super helpful with puzzles, traps, riddles, etc. And my favorite part of this puzzle was they actually turned into, if they started making wrong checks or bad checks, they had to make a wisdom save, they lost health, and then a creature appeared, and they're having to try and solve this puzzle while fighting off these like golem construct type situations. So I love whenever you can combine puzzles with combat like that. Combat in general should have alternate win conditions, and that was a great alternate win condition of solve the puzzle while dealing with these golems that are spawning and all this other crazy stuff that starts to happen. Next up, we have a jumping scene by Liam and Aabria adjudicating some sort of rules with jumping and how you can handle these little situations kind of on the fly. So this is interesting enough. You'll see where I'm going with this.
Okay, so if I quickly back up off of that little diving board I'm on,
Yep.
and then reverse and run off it like a ramp, I should at minimum be able to jump with these boots.
This is his character over here. He's on this little tiny ledge that's suspended in air. He wants to try and jump up to this platform.
20 feet.
Okay. So you know that
basic.
like without any amount of extra strain, you can go 20 feet. If you
Yep.
want to push it further,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to do a roll about it.
Yep.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
So give me an acrobatics or athletics check. And which platform are you aiming for?
The one that Fern is on looks like the most feasible to me.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll.
That is a 16.
With a 16, you like give yourself that little bit of runway. It's no more than 5 feet, but for you, that might just be enough as you run forward and you feel your foot slip just a little bit at the edge as you reach out and you grab onto the bottom. And I can't stick you on there. Oh, I could. Nah, I won't. We'll describe it. We'll use our imaginations for like 2 seconds. So you're able to make it there, but you don't land on the top of the platform.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's gonna cost you like 10 feet of movement to get all the way up and climb up and get on the top of the platform.
Would we say then that was my movement to jump there and then use my action to try to hoist myself up?
I'll say it's your bonus action
Okay.
to complete that. That's
There we go. What a great little adjudication there. You can see the face kind of Aabria makes in this little moment of like, because she's trying to go with him. We'll go back to that here in a second. He uses all of his movement, makes a check. 16 is not the best check for this type of situation. 20 or above, okay, you're there. Let's go. What are you doing? It's below that though, but failing forward, the check, they make it, but at a cost, whether it's a cost of bludgeoning damage from the impact of it or something like that, or the bonus action. A lot of times I'll spend the action economy of a bonus action to try and give players the ability to do something like she just said. So check this out one more time.
Hoist myself up.
I'll say it's your bonus action.
Okay.
To complete that. That's fine for me.
Okay.
Done, right? That's all this is. You gotta get a pulse check of your players. What do they feel like's fair? What do you feel like's fair? That's the most, you're the dungeon master, right? But it's really awesome to be able to spend bonus actions sometimes, or spend extra movement if you hadn't already used it up. I'll do that a lot. If a player wants to try and do something, get creative. Maybe spending a reaction, spending a bonus action, spend their action economy in some sort of way. Or I've even done something to where, like, yes, you do it, but you have disadvantage on your next attack roll. Something like that. Next up is Robbie's character. He's about to cast the spell Dissonant Whispers, but there's a really interesting interaction that's going on with this Spider Queen god, not possession. He's not possessed by it or whatever. It's just this dark connection he's got going on. And that's really all that you need to know as far as context goes, is there's the Spider Queen has been looming around this whole fight, and she gets, they have not put, no one's put on the crown. No one's dove into that yet, but I'm really interested to see who does put it on. I don't know. I have some theories, but he's being restricted and restrained in some way by this dark entity that's affecting his magic. Let's see what happens.
You turn, and as you kind of reach your hands out to begin to cast, you see that your very fingertips begin to turn to a darker blue. You feel your skin going cold, and you hear that voice in your ear again that says, you know it's not going to work.
I'm gonna try to cast it anyway.
Ooh, let's go.
Okay. I'll wait for you to fail, and then tell you how you don't have to be so ineffectual once again. Okay, you reach out. Go ahead and...
So she was basically has already told him before this is like your magic can't work, like you're restrained and restricted in this way. He's gonna try it anyway. It's gonna come to a roll. Let's see.
I know Dissonant Whispers is a save spell, but you have to push through your own arcane ability for this to hit. So I want you to make an attack roll for me. We'll let the dice tell a story. I love that.
Yes. Okay. I do this all the time. So I love that to see another dungeon master do this is, can you push through? Can you fight through? Make these certain checks of some kind. A spell check is all that I usually ask my players to do. She says make an attack roll, which would you be using your spell modifier and your proficiency bonus. That's all it is. So when I say make a spell check, that's just whatever your spell casting modifier is plus proficiency, and that's it. Like super simple. Add that to your roll, and let's see what happens.
7.
You reach out and you feel your spell clatter against an unformed, unthinking mind.
Get that D4 though.
He has bless, but we're gonna fast forward through the bless. He ends up rolling a 2. Doesn't work.
D4.
I'm sorry. 4 sides.
Thank God you're pretty.
1d5?
2, 9, yay!
Math is hard.
Yep.
It just goes a little.
Yep. But you feel it like hit and sort of fall out in a way.
Alright.
I won't make you burn a spell slot for that, but you do hear laughter.
That's what I wanted to finish on for that little section here is she respected that he wanted to try. It didn't work, so he doesn't burn the spell slot. Cool, right? So you're rewarding players for attempting and taking risks, but not punishing them for doing it. Like, well, you failed the check, burn the spell slot. You know what I'm saying? So I love the balance that Aabria hit with this. Nice job. Next up, this is a moment of pure creativity from Robbie, but it requires a little bit of a setup here. What's going on is as they're fighting through this puzzle combat situation, these construct things are fighting them, they each start to get these powers, and they roll, if they succeed on the save, they get imbued with some sort of power, and they have control over the power. Some people have control over their own spatial gravity, and like if they're heavier or lighter, or that's Matt's character is able to control if he's physically heavier or lighter and quicker and stuff. Robbie's character is able to control the gravity around him. There's some really interesting stuff that they have going on, and she was extremely vague when she told the players what they were able to do with it, and that was vague on purpose, and I think that is beautiful. This is what you can kind of do. you can mess with the gravity around you, you know, okay, that's it. And it's so awesome, and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Let's go ahead and let Robbie have his way with this thing.
Speaking of magnets, do you do anything gravitationally?
Yeah,
as
I
you
was
move?
gonna try to.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
He forgot about it, so she
And it's
helped him
only on
remind him.
myself, right?
Only on yourself.
Okay, so I am.
Can't let you be pushing my boys everywhere. It's rude.
I get it. And who's next on deck after me?
See him thinking?
A bad guy, and then Opal.
Oh, it's a bad guy.
A bad boy.
Ask a couple questions, fast forward.
I am going. Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know if I can do this. What are the rules? I am going to.
I love that. That's what I really wanted you to see, like that frustration that you have to be, you know, walk a line on this, as you don't want to just be too vague where they have no idea what they can do and they feel paralyzed. Like, but this, like, I don't know if this is possible. That's exactly where she has Robbie in the perfect place mentally to be creative with this ability that he has. He doesn't really know what it's capable of, because he shouldn't know what it's capable of, because it just happened to him. You shouldn't know the exact mechanics of it. So I love it. Here we go.
Sort of feel that energy of being able to change the gravity, and I'm going to make it oppressive and heavy and on myself, and I'm gonna attempt to grapple.
The faces.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Make an athletics check with advantage.
Come on, dice.
Love it.
You have to beat a 19.
that was an 18 on the first one, but oh wait, was athletics?
Athletics.
Oh yeah, plus 6.
Woo!
So 20.
Oh, beefy boy over here.
All right, big boy. Please describe for me what it looks like as you tackle and grapple a thing much bigger than you,
Yeah.
but of equal density.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to even move my body, but I'm going to wrap myself around that front sort of hulking right arm and shoulder, and I'm gonna grab around it like a tree stump and just pull him down into the dirt. So it's got it.
I love this. You take a step forward.
I love it. That's so awesome. He didn't even know what he was capable of doing. Just gravity. You can manipulate gravity around you, and he turned it into the coolest grapple ever. So absolutely awesome. I love giving hints of mechanics towards things and let players play around with it, because they'll come up with some mind-blowing stuff. And now it would be a sin if I did not include this in this video. It's going to speak for itself. This is towards the end of the combat. Lots of stuff's been going on. It's Matt's turn. He does some huge damage, and
All right, Matt. 2 for 2. How do you want to do this? Finish it.
He's a murderer!
As it kind of comes in, aiming towards it, I imagine it kind of hearing the buzzing sound of the wings just rapidly flapping as it looks up.
he's doing a hard dive, a dwarven spear. He's got wings during this whole process. That was one of the things that he had as part of the cool thing that happened to him during one of these imbuement things from all these magical effects swirling around. He flew up and he made this super heavy attack coming in at him.
The spear impacts and both of us just collide in this moment in front of you, Fern, where you see it kind of push back, the face shattering a bit as the spear is now dug deep into the head and is carrying me with it as it's falling backward. And I imagine as it's about to stumble back and fall off the edge, I'm desperately trying to yank the spear out of its head. Oh God, help!
Fern, you are released from its hand as it takes that kill blow and shocked lets you go. And you see Dariax, who, though he can fly, is, thank God he's pretty. And you
So I love, again, I did this earlier, I think in episode 1 maybe of Exandria Unlimited. He got another how do you want to do this at the first one, and he describes these, takes it and has an epic moment, but then also adds a little extra flavor of these like haphazard clumsiness onto the top of his character as well. And now one more thing. This is just seconds after Matt's description of everything as he's tumbling off and over the top of this thing, and we'll see how this thing goes with Ashley. Ashley's saying what she's doing, but there's an important thing that happens here.
I'll grab his ankle.
Yep.
Just to make sure that he doesn't fall to his death.
She's grabbing a dice, rolling it.
What would
No one asked.
It's a 3.
Oh, you don't have to roll.
So-
for it. It's fine.
It's
You're good.
Yeah.
You just reach out and just grab him by the ankle.
okay.
And
Okay, so time out. Hold up. Okay, this is another big reason why I don't get onto players for it, but I don't have don't roll unless your dungeon master asks for it, right? That's just a general practice. This is one of the only times I think I've seen that happen. So this is a rare instance, especially at this level of play and everything. And she kind of Aabria handles it great, and she's like, "Oh no, you don't have to roll for that." But Ashley grabbed the dice and rolled for it. But that's the thing. You don't have to roll for something if the dungeon master doesn't say it. And what are they rolling for? Make this roll, all that kind of stuff. I think rolls in general, the flow of the game should be the dungeon master asks you for rolls. And in general, you don't just make rolls without the dungeon master asking you. I think that can be a slippery slope towards things getting out of hand. So I just wanted to highlight that. But it was very beautifully handled. But you don't have to roll for that. And she reaches out and grabs him easily, no problem. There's episode 7. Stay tuned for next week. Well, I guess 2 weeks from now. Every other week I've been doing a breakdown, and then I'll do some homebrew video stuff. Y'all have been really liking this weapon series. I got more of that coming. Next week I'm doing the ranged weapon. You guys hit 1,000 likes in one day, which is obviously, it goes to show how huge it is for the algorithm to like and share the video and all that kind of stuff. But specifically liking it, it was the #1 video that I've ever released on the channel. So thank you guys for liking up the videos and stuff. It really does help, and y'all just proved that. So next week I'm doing the ranged weapon breakdown of new homebrew mechanics for all the different ranged weapons, and then we're doing the episode 8 season finale of Exandria Unlimited, full breakdown, see how that whole thing goes. Can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna watch it right now. So until next time, stay creative, think outside the box. Peace.